everyone, Stella Gray here, and tonight I'm actually going to talk about something that's controversial, and a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me on my views, and that's perfectly fine. To each its own, and you guys can believe in whatever you want to believe in, and I'm not going to judge anybody. But you know, the thing about Alabama state senators are trying to pass a law that bans abortion pretty much across the entire board. That means that even an incest victim or a victim of rape, someone who was raped still would not be able to get an abortion. And any doctor that performs an abortion will be sentenced to up to 99 years in prison. That is absolutely insane. I mean, how can this happen? This is like, guys, this is 2019. This is crazy that this can even happen, especially, after the Roe versus Wade, which, completely took away the right for states to do this very thing, to put so much restriction on um, I was on popularscience.com, and I'm actually going to read a few of the facts about abortion from this, and some of the reasons why abortions should be legal and safe. And, me personally, guys, I'm going to be, once again, upfront and honest. I used to not agree with abortion. I saw it as murder, but as, I've gotten older and I've become more educated on the subject, I've come to realize that it is a safe procedure, and it's actually safer than carrying out an entire pregnancy. And it's not for everyone, and just because someone doesn't agree with it, or you don't agree with it, it doesn't mean that everyone else should have to do as you say. It's not fair to put restrictions on abortion when it should ultimately be the woman's decision, because the woman is the one that has to carry out the pregnancy and go through the pain of labor and raise the child, and possibly bring the child into a situation where, domestic violence might be involved. Because once a woman, sometimes, not always, but sometimes when a woman, a man impregnates a woman, not always, guys, so please no one take offense to this, but sometimes a man might do that to trap the woman, or the woman may feel trapped because she's pregnant and there might be domestic violence involved, and you're just going to bring the baby into that. So there's several reasons why I think abortions should be legal and safe. They're already safe. It's the safest procedure out there. But from popularscience.com, I found several reasons, like I said before, so I'm just going to read some of those off briefly. I won't go into too much detail, but, I definitely think that this was some of the best information I found online, and I also found the same information on several different websites. So, like I said, do your own research. Don't rely on me. A lot of this is already common knowledge, so it shouldn't really be much of a surprise to anyone. I'm just going to read some of these off. And that is, restricting abortions makes abortions less safe. Using the best modern medicine has to offer, abortions are extremely safe. Only 1/4% of abortions have complications, which makes them less risky than having wisdom teeth removed. However, placing restrictions on how and when people can access them makes the procedures less safe. Delaying care with waiting periods or by limiting the number of clinics in an area means people have procedures later in pregnancy when they have a higher risk of complications. In Utah, which has a 72-hour mandatory waiting period between an initial consultation and the abortion procedure, which is not necessary medically, increases the financial cost for people obtaining the procedure. According to one study, it also led a number of people to be concerned that they couldn't have the type of abortion they wanted, Roberts says. The wait might mean they had to have a surgical rather than pharmaceutically induced abortion, for example. Before the passage of Roe v. Wade, the Supreme Court decision that declared overly restrictive laws preventing abortion unconstitutional, people were obtaining abortions. Estimates suggest that there were around 800,000 mostly illegal abortions per year. However, they were unsafe and thousands of people were harmed or died as a result of the procedure. While self-induced abortions are less common now than they were before Roe v. Wade, they still occur in places with restrictions on abortion access. People might turn to dangerous methods like herbs or hitting themselves in the abdomen. In Louisiana, for example, which has multiple restrictive abortion laws and where people are more likely to report barriers to obtaining abortion, people are more likely to try and self-induce an abortion. So a lot of times, when there's restrictive laws, people, especially crazy people, and there are crazy people in the world, are more likely to hit themselves in the abdomen just to self-induce an abortion. And that's pretty scary. That's scary for the woman that's pregnant and for, the fetus inside her. Pregnancies are more dangerous than abortions. Okay, so an abortion procedure is far, far less likely than carrying a pregnancy to term. It's important to know that abortion is safer than childbirth across the board. Foster says childbirth is around 14 times more dangerous than having an abortion. I'm not going to keep reading on and on, guys, but these are just, a lot of these are really good reasons as to why abortion should be safe and legal. And, like I said, it already is safe. It's one of the safest procedures. And, of course, I also mentioned this previously. I did read it from here. So, unintended pregnancies increase risk of domestic violence and financial insecurity, which I think is so true. Like I said, so many women are just in bad situations, and then they just bring the children into those situations, and the kids, they really don't have a good life. And not to mention, the foster care system is horrible. I personally, I've known people that have been through foster care, and I know some of the horror stories. And most of these children that are born because abortion is illegal, or not easy to access, they're born into the bad situations, or they go into foster care, and the foster care system is overcrowded as it is, and unstable. Abortions do not cause negative public health consequences. There is not a benefit to people's health if they are denied, Roberts says. Abortion does not increase risk for mental illness. People are more likely to experience symptoms of anxiety or depression if they are denied an abortion than if they were able to have one. And because abortions are safe, a timely and legal procedure holds very little risk of harm to their physical health. We don't see any public health harms related to people being able to have a wanted abortion, she says. So I just feel like, like I said, these are some really good reasons. And like I said, I found this on popularscience.com. So feel free to go and fact check me if anyone doesn't believe that I found this online or that any of the information is true. I'm sure you can find the same information on several other websites as I did. And guys, I tried so hard. I looked everywhere trying to find the statistics on rape and incest in the state of Alabama, and I can't find it anywhere. And I just personally, I think that's really weird that I can't find any of that. And now all of a sudden, you know, they want to pass this law, you know, banning abortion across the board, and we can't find all this information that we need, and that, you know, things like Planned Parenthood, they're gonna, you know, I'm sure they might already know that information, but they need that information too, especially if this law is passed, because from what I know, or from what I've heard, Planned Parenthood is going to, you know, they're gonna come after the Alabama, the state of Alabama, if this is passed. And I couldn't agree with them more. But, you know, I can't find any of it online, and that's just super weird to me. I don't know. Let me know in the comments section down below what you guys think. If anyone is, you know, watches this video and is interested, I really want to know what you guys think about this, because, you know, like I said, I personally think that's really weird that I can't find the statistics on incest in Alabama anywhere online. And if someone else finds it, please send me the link to that, because I would like to see it. Also, when I was a kid, if you guys haven't been watching my videos, or you haven't seen all of my videos, I've only had, like, I don't even know how many videos I've had out. I think this is like the 6th one. But go back to the very first video that I posted, and you'll see a video that I did with my mother, just talking about her experiences, what she dealt with, that my biological father imposed on her, things that he did to her, just horrible things. And go back and watch that video, because if you don't, you're not going to know what I'm talking about, or you'll know what I'm talking about, but that it'll make a lot more sense if you go back and watch the first video. But I would have probably had something horrible happen to me when I was a kid, because my dad is a child molester. And he molested my aunt, who is now on drugs and strung out. And just, you know, I think that happening to her when she was 8 years old has a lot to do with why she is the way she is now. And you know, it's really sad, and I can't be around her, because she's so strung out and she's so out of her mind. And it's really sad, because we, like, everyone, I know my whole family, we all love her and care for her. We just can't be around her. But she is partly, I think part of the reason, there's several reasons, but part of the reason she is the way she is because of my dad when he molested her when she was 8 years old. And if my mom wouldn't have left my dad when she did, he would have done the same thing to me, which he did do things to me when I was a baby. Obviously I don't remember, and she found out when she took me to the doctor. So, and they made her get away from him with me. You know, so we got away from him, and I didn't even know him my entire life until I met him one time, as an adult, about 3, maybe 4 years ago. And he just proved to be everything that everyone always said he was. And I don't even know what possessed me to go and meet this crazy person. I think I was just going through a really tough time in my life. And he kept messaging me on, like, Facebook and stuff, which, guys, one of the reasons I'm not on Facebook anymore is because of that. And he kept messaging me on Facebook, trying to get to know me, trying to get in touch with me, come in contact, and I kept on ignoring it, and I actually ignored it for several years. He kept messaging me over the course of several years, not like back to back to back, just like every now and then. So finally one day, I think I was actually mad at my mother at the time, and I was still young, okay guys? I mean, I was in my 20s, but I was in my early, like, or yeah, early 20s, almost mid 20s, but I was young and I'm still young, but I'm 29 now. So I'm like, I went and I met up with him, and I met his wife, and I met my brother, half brother, and that was kind of cool. And they seemed like a really well put together family at first. They seemed really cool, and I was like, well, maybe he's just. I always believed like everything my mom told me, no matter how angry I was at her. I always believed everything she said. But like I said, sometimes you just don't know why you do the things you do. And this is just one of those times. I don't know why I went to see this crazy person. And I got to know him over the course of several weeks. And everything was fine. Like I said, they seemed like a well put together family, him, his wife, and my brother. And I don't know, like eventually he started acting a little bit, he started acting a little strange, but I just kind of brushed it off. And then eventually he came on to me. And it was at that point I left and I have not been back. And I told him that if he contacts me, I will get him for harassment. And that is the honest to God truth. I will definitely get him for harassment if he contacts me. But when that happened, that was so scary. And I really, it's really, I don't even know why I'm telling you guys this, because this is really personal. And I actually never, I told myself I would never tell anybody about that. So if I get any type of hate for it, then I'm just going to brush it off, because there are like crazy and nasty people in the world that will take something like that and make it seem, you know, like weird or whatever. And that, I just got away from him before something could happen. And that's it. Like, I don't even know. Like I said, I don't know why I brought that up. But I feel like it, just saying that, like, as if my mom, like, what if she never left him? And I grew up in a household with this crazy person who likes to do weird things to kids. And what if I grew up in that situation, if she never left him and he hurt me or impregnated me at a young age, and abortion was illegal? Then I would have an incest baby. And that baby would have to live probably through abuse, or if not through abuse, through something else, or through a life, being, knowing that he or she is an incest baby. I mean, it's just things to think about, guys, because I know a lot of people are, pro-life and all that. And, I'm pro-life too. Like, I don't believe in killing or anything like that. And for God's sakes, like, I'm vegan. I don't kill animals. Like, I don't believe in any of that. But ultimately, it's the woman's decision. And I just feel like nobody should be able to tell a woman what to do with her body at all. And it's just a scary thing. It's a scary world we live in. What's happening to America? It's a very, I actually stayed up crying last night over this. So, and another thing I want to add is sometimes an abortion is necessary when a woman is on birth control. Because with the Mirena, I know I had the Mirena for 5 years, and I'm pretty sure what they told me before I had it, inserted and all that, is that it can come with complications. And if a woman were to have an ectopic, I think that's how you say ectopic pregnancy, that can be fatal to the woman. So therefore, both the woman and the baby, suffer. So I don't know, like, that's just something to think about once again, you know, with birth control and stuff like that. Like sometimes an abortion is necessary, whether it's through an emergency or someone was raped or it's a incest situation. So that's just, you know, I just want you guys to keep all of these things in mind and really just support Planned Parenthood in fighting against this law that hasn't been passed yet, but think about it. We're in Alabama. It most likely will be passed. And like I said, I'll never be more ashamed to be from Alabama. So I'm going to wrap this up, guys. And I apologize if I keep saying so and like and things like that. I'm still getting used to being on camera. And I just really appreciate anyone who watches my videos. And if you enjoy my videos, please like and subscribe and hit that bell button so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. Peace.